know, but Red Cross volunteers come from all over the country at the time of a disaster like this flood. And this area, Tennessee, is really different from most of the times when Red Cross has had to come in. For instance, when they came into the hurricane, to all the Gulf Coast states after the hurricanes. In that, about 70% of the Red Cross volunteers are actually Tennessee volunteers. They're from Tennessee. And they are the ones who also go out to other states when there's a big need. I remember when I just happened to be in Minneapolis right after the bridge fell there, collapsed there in Minneapolis, and I went by the Red Cross, and the people there were from Minneapolis. It happened to be their own headquarters, but then of course there were people from all over the country that joined there. And then anytime I traveled across the Gulf Coast after all the hurricanes, the volunteers were from Iowa, Nebraska, and I'm sure Tennessee. A lot of volunteers who came from all over the country, but one of the things that's really different about this disaster is that a lot of your volunteers, 70%, are Tennessee Red Cross volunteers. And I think really that's what I've seen. I had a friend last weekend who showed me on her cell phone photos from Nashville and how bad the flood was. And I don't think we really saw it that much on the press, as much as heard about it from other sources, from people who knew people who lived here, people who had suffered damage or had lost their homes, or just the way the whole roads were covered downtown with water. And one of the reasons I think we didn't hear, and I also heard this on the book tour when I happened to have a jobber who was from England, which is a company, a Nashville-based company, was in another town with me on the book tour, and told me that Hands-On Tennessee, Hands-On Network had gone door to door to help people. So I think what really happened is you didn't get that much national attention because there were so many local people who were so helpful and immediately went around to help their neighbors. So I want to commend you for that. That's not always the case, and that's one of the reasons the Red Cross is so important, because you will go to any part of the country or world, really, where you're needed. And so I want to thank everybody here who's a Red Cross volunteer. And I want to encourage people who might be watching this to consider becoming a Red Cross volunteer, to get the training to be a Red Cross volunteer, or at least to donate to the Red Cross, because you never know, just like Nashville never expected to have a flood. You know, it was just not something you would have expected to have here in Tennessee. You never know when you might need the Red Cross yourself in your own neighborhood, and you all certainly stood up for your own neighborhood, all of you that are from Tennessee. So I want to thank you all. I'm here with Karen Press, my good friend, and I'm really in town for the book signing for my book, and we called after the flood. We called the bookstore and said, "Are you sure, should we come?" And they said, "Yeah, come on." And so I'm really happy to have the chance to be in Nashville and be able to thank you all in person. So thanks so much. And there was a loss of life in the flood, and I know that you all will anyway in Tennessee, because that's just what you would do. But don't forget those families, and be with those families and figure out how you can help them and stand with them. Because they lost everything. You know, they lost somebody they loved, and they probably lost everything they had too as well. So remember those families the most, and thank you all very, very much for your really good work.
Thank you.